Okay, in fact, I need to look here. Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to the podcast, wherever you're watching. Today I'm joined with another client. We did Dan's story not long ago. That was last week. Now we're back with Matthew. Now, Matthew's come down nearly 2 hours to be here today. And he's had an absolutely incredible journey, which I can't wait to share with you guys. He's been with me since the start now, since the start of a transformation. Lost a lot of weight. We're going to talk you through Matthew's highs, his lows, his whole journey, right? All the good things, all the bad things, the struggles. And I can promise you now by the end of this, you'll be inspired, but you'll also feel like you've got something new to add into your own journey. You'll learn from the lessons, and it's definitely a valuable watch. So, Matthew, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Jacob.
Not a problem, mate. How's things?
Really good. Really enjoying Telford.
Yeah, bait out the location live. How was your session? We just did a session together, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's been really good, really beneficial, and
Awesome.
learned quite a lot from that session.
Good. Glad to hear it. What do you think's the biggest difference really between, like, you've done online, you've obviously with me, you've done in person, like where do you see the differences?
I think online's quite nice, where you're given a plan and a task, and you can go and do that yourself, learn from it, send videos in, and get that feedback that way. Whereas in person, of course, you're learning more in depth, getting that more nitty gritty with those exercises, and learning more how that technique works, which I quite like.
Yeah.
I'm quite a physical learner, but I do quite like the not over the shoulder too much as well. So online stuff where you're doing more, take it on board yourself, get the videos in. It's quite nice, and it's nice, and you can decide what to record, what to do.
Of course.
And that's quite fun, I think.
More flexibility too. I like it. So the viewers, obviously, they're not going to know who you are yet. Tell us a bit about yourself. So what it is maybe you do for work, your past. Yeah. Just keep it sort of brief, but just so they know, what it is that you do.
Yeah, of course. So I've done film production in university. I've graduated from that, but I work for a university now, the same university I did my degree in. So I work in student services over there in student support, where I'm helping out students and staff members, or anybody else for that matter, supporting them where I can with any queries they've got and any support they need, which is kind of my big thing of I like supporting people, giving that love, that appreciation, and resolving things. So I quite enjoyed that life.
Nice. And how do you think the job, okay, in fact, before we say that, let's go back to right at the start. So first of all, how long have you been part of the program now?
Nearly a year and a bit now, so coming up to 2 years soon, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I love
Crazy, it's just over a year now.
It's gone quick.
Yeah, definitely gone a lot quicker than I thought.
And what was your reason for joining? Obviously I know, but just so the audience know, what was your initial reason for signing up with me, and how did you actually come across me?
Yeah, I think I remember looking at topics because I used to go to hypnotherapy for my mental health and all this mentality. And one of the topics I brought up was my weight and losing weight. So I brought it up, which was really good. Shout out to Kate Roberts. She's amazing as a hypnotherapist. And she did a hypnotherapy on me about losing weight and looking at doing the gym and stuff. And then somehow that just mangled in my mind. It's like, right, I need to get on this. I need to focus on this. So I started looking around, and Instagram was one of those places. And then, of course, you reached out. I must have stumbled a ton of your videos, which was brilliant. I watched a few. And, you just reached out. You're the first person to reach out, which was really nice.
Yeah.
We had that formal chat, and then we started from there, which was really good. And it was a case of me wanting to lose that weight, start to then gain some muscle initially. And then I think what's nice about it is you start doing that, you think, your main focus is losing that weight, and I'm going to gain that muscle further down the line. Yeah. But then you start building more skills in between that. So then it's like the confidence came in, and it's like, oh, wow, what is this? I'm getting more confident with myself again. I'm loving myself a bit more, and that self-love. So you start building more skills and more developments in that from your fitness.
Well, let's go back to where you were when you started. Obviously, at the start of your journey, when you originally joined up, the goal was to lose body fat, like you say. A lot of people tell me on the phone that they need to lose weight because it's impacting their energy levels. Maybe they're low. People also tell me things like their confidence is low, right? And then there's always something more that goes with that. The confidence is low, which impacts them when it comes to their relationship, or trying to get into a relationship, or maybe within their career. Or just they're on holiday and they just don't like the way they look, or at meetings with work, etc. Where do you feel like at the start of your journey when you were struggling with your weight, What areas of your life do you think that it had the most negative impact on?
It's weird. I think at the time, it was just a case in my mindset at that point was I was kind of looking at myself thinking, I need to lose some weight. I don't feel like overly confident. And that confidence was definitely not there without realising it further down the line. I think at that moment in time, it was just, I knew I was eating takeaways at work or at home, ordering too much. And I knew that lifestyle was getting costly, but also it felt wrong, and that without admitting to myself that I've put too much weight on. I never saw that at the beginning. It was just kind of, I knew I put weight on, but I didn't realise how much weight I put on until started the weigh-in and further down the line where I'd have lost that weight, and then I'd look back on pictures from a year before and going, gosh, I'm a bigger difference now compared to that person.
What was the what was the light bulb moment that went, wow, like I really need to make a change? Was it the hypnotherapy or was it something else?
I think it was the hypnotherapy. I think thinking on the topic, I was like, I've done all this way in the past, and I thought, there's something about fitness and something about that. I've done it before. I've worked in parts of gyms before as well at the university, and I've been in that fitness life, and I've done challenges around fitness, but then all of a sudden it stopped, and it's like, ooh, you know, where do I go for it? It'd be nice to do it, and I know it's good for your mental health, and maybe that was part of it as well, the mental health side of things. It'd be quite good to reinitiate it somehow, and then again I built more of those skills in there of losing weight, gaining muscle, confidence, and that feeling of I love myself a bit more better than what I did.
Definitely. What do you think caused you to gain the weight, and how long did you struggle with that for? Because you talk about, obviously you've done a bit of work in gyms, but what was like what do you think caused you to gain the weight, and was that was it the first time gaining it, or had you struggled with that for maybe your whole life?
I think all my life I've been quite fortunate prior. I never used to put weight on, so I was quite lucky. I could eat what I want, drink what I want, and just never bother about it. So I was quite lucky to a point. And then I got into a relationship which wasn't good, quite abusive, quite negative, and that affected a lot and took a lot out of me to the point where I went the opposite way, lost too much weight, and had to put weight back on. And I think my mindset after that wasn't fully fixed. It was kind of, right, I need to eat again, I need to put food on. And I think I got into a state of, eating makes me happy. So this is making me happy. It's getting me out of this negative relationship and this negative feeling. So I want to eat, and eating came more of that passion and that enjoyment of it's giving me that endorphin of happiness to the point when then it didn't.
I know what you mean. It's a hard one. A lot of people then struggle with that, like emotional eating, and it becomes like a comfort blanket. Definitely. It's something you get used to as well, and becomes a habit. Okay, so obviously got a bit of an understanding on where you're at. With the change, I remember on our first call, what was your sort of experience on that? Because we had a call, we just had a normal chat, see where you're at, see if I can actually help you. I always do that with people. Like some people I just can't help, or that someone else would be a better fit for them, right? What was your experience like on that call? Like, how did you find it? Were you nervous? What was your experience like?
I think I definitely was nervous. It was kind of like this is happening sort of thing. We had a nice little chat, nice conversation. And then, of course, the big number of the finance comes up and you're a bit like, what do I do with this? And again, your mindset's a bit, is it the full investment? How do I work this through? It's not just the PT, the work. It is the cost of purchasing gym membership, the food, the macros, making food from prep, or making it at least healthier. And we know that's a bigger cost compared to things. But then again, like I took that step back, had a look into things and kind of thought, you know what, I'm spending X amount on takeaways. That's money there. And what do I really want in life right now? Do I want to continue down the path I am on, or do I want to at least try and see and lose that weight? And, I'm happy I did that.
Definitely, mate. No, I like it. And like obviously you've had a big transformation, and we'll talk you through that in a second. But obviously on that call, a little bit of, like you say, a scarcity around finances. mate, I speak to a lot of people, and a lot of them will tell me like it's a financial issue, and I'm never gonna know because I'm not looking at the bank account. Someone might have 100,000 saved, and I wouldn't have a clue, right?
Definitely.
People will lie, right, and that's fine. But I always try and get to the actual root because I'm there to help them. They come to me with a problem. We've been speaking for half an hour. I think I would be doing them a disservice if I didn't try and challenge them or make sure that that's the genuine problem right now that's stopping us moving forward. We obviously worked something out with like a payment plan. And now you're in a position where you're doing this long term, right? You've invested into a long position, which is great. Now, let's get crystal clear for the people who are watching. Obviously, they understand a bit more about you now and your experience. What success have you had since starting the program? What would you say have been your biggest wins?
Yeah, I think initially starting as well, I'd started to drop that weight quite quickly and quite fast as well. And I think it is navigating it as well. That's been really important. Because I came into it kind of knowing food would be a dilemma that I need to sort, but never did anyway prior to that. Even when I was going to gyms, it was kind of like, food. I'll deal with that after.
Yeah.
I'll just eat what I want. Not the case. Like, I need to know, calories and intakes and everything around the portion of not just going into a gym and doing a session and getting it done. There is a lot more around that, around calories, counting,
course,
deficits. And that I didn't know about really. So it was kind of like, this is all new, this is great. And this is the stuff that really taught me to then work out how to lose my weight and drop my weight down, which has been brilliant.
Nice. And how much have you lost?
I think around 20 kg now, isn't it?
Class.
Something around there.
Love it, mate.
Give or take. Yeah.
And what other wins have you had? Like, you've lost a 20 kilo, which is incredible. What other success have you had since starting?
Yeah, I think definitely, like I've said, those other traits have now come through, like the confidence. So I felt like more confident in things. I'm doing things I wouldn't normally done. That I am doing stuff like presentations and things like that. I'm trying that at work. Never been a big fan of them, but at least I'm trying them. And, I'm not shying away from them now. So it's quite nice that I'm doing that. I'm doing that personal development on myself and kind of giving that time for myself to reflect on myself. So that's quite nice as well.
I love it, mate. So with like this new lifestyle you've got and the improvements you've had with your health, your fitness and other things you've mentioned, what part of your life do you think has improved the most? Like, obviously you've got a different quality of life now. What part of your life do you feel like it's amplified the most since all the progress you've made with your health and your fitness?
Yeah, I think it is that confidence. That confidence is really, weirdly enough, like I said, I've come into that thinking lose weight, and that confidence has trailed
more
through.
to it.
Yeah, more to it. There's always those little hidden agendas, and it's quite nice that it is that the confidence has started to come out, and then I feel more confident in myself. I went swimming yesterday while staying over, and again, would I've done that a year ago? Wow, with my bigger weight on me, and I'm thinking probably not. And I'm feeling more confident going out shopping, buying certain items now that I'm happy with. I probably would have worn them a year ago, and it's nice. It's kind of that niceness of, I can do this now. I feel a bit more confident in my looks and my feels.
Yeah, mate, that's what it's about. 100%. Definitely. I love it. And obviously you've had big wins this joining, lost a 20 kilo, way more confident. Like you say, I think that confidence has been that number one thing for you really as an improvement since starting. Now we're clear on that. What parts of the program, in your opinion, do you think have helped you the most along this journey?
Yeah, I think a lot of the training, exercises and stuff, the Everfit app is brilliant. It has a lot on there. Amazing content. You do your own videos, phone videos on there, and that's been quite helpful to see that. I think also the amount of content provided in the course as well is brilliant. So things like podcast calls, videos, tutorials, one-to-ones, and these types of sessions today, brilliant. Like, it helps just to work it all out and process it. And I think the group chats have also helped, where you've got the nice people that are also on the same journey, different parts of journeys as well. You can all come together and kind of go, this is where we're all at, and win and success together, which is really nice to see in the community and the group.
Yeah, I love it. And if you had to put it down to one thing, like one part of the program that's given you the most value on this journey to take you from where you were to where you are now, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, I think it's like I said, the training of knowing that it's not just a session.
Yeah.
It's everything behind the scenes. So again, it's probably all those that content out there on social media that you've created.
More like the structure, maybe.
Yeah, it's the
Of, like, the
structure of
programme
it.
itself.
Yeah, the
Okay.
program and working out like how it all works out. Like I remember showing you like my old workout, and it'd be like
loads of stuff.
up and down, lower body, upper body, and it'd be like all mixed up, combined to one. That'd be one session, and then it'd be like, but clearly I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I know those exercises, but I'm just mashing them all together, not knowing what core structure I'm actually targeting for those days. And again, it's all knowing all that information. There's more depth to everything that's been done.
Of course, I've had loads of people like that have shown me their sessions, and it's like there's nothing wrong with full body sessions. I do them myself, but I'll see people that have done told me on a call that they're going to do, I don't know, 2 sets of every machine in the gym, and they just do that and they go a few times a week. But we know, and obviously you've learned yourself, that there's a few fundamentals that we need to follow in order to make the progress that you're looking for, right? You can't just go and do the same thing week in, week out, no progression on them, and just think that you're going to get results. And I think the big thing with like a structured program like this is that I'm there to make sure that you get results, right? And I'm looking every week through the check-ins that we do on, okay, what are the reasons for why Matthew might not get a result? Let me make sure that that isn't the case. So let's say your training's not progressing on a movement and it's been 2 or 3 weeks and it's stalling a bit. I'm looking into that. Can I have a look at the form? Can you send me a video of that? Let's review it. And then if it's still stalling and we're struggling, form is good, but we're just struggling on that, say, one movement, we'll swap it out. We'll add in something similar, right? And I think that's what it's about. Like, look at the reasons why you might not succeed, like sleep, your nutrition, your training, etc. And even how you are in general, like what's your stress like? If you've got loads of shit going on at work, do you see what I mean? That's going to have an impact, right? Typically people's personal problems will go into this journey too. And then I just make sure that I can almost provide a solution to each one of them each week to keep you on track with the goals. But no, mate, you've smashed it. And like you say, you've said the parts of the program you feel have had the most impact. Question to you as well is, how do you find the check-in process? Because people will say to me, like, I just can't imagine doing it online. Like, that's weird for me. I like that in person. I like to be able to go in and do it physically. Like, how have you found the online process? Because obviously it's worked for you, mate. You're 20 kilo down. You're fitter, you're healthier, you're more confident. So, yeah, is there anything about the online process that maybe surprised you? And what would you say to the person that's like, I feel like I need that in person because, I don't know, online just feels weird maybe?
Yeah, I think it's definitely worked out for the better. I think there's that less pressure element on it as well, where, again, like I said, you can, record what you want to show, and if you're feeling less confident on a specific form or exercise, send it in, and you're not pressured, that 24/7 of what you do. You've just got little nuggets of like prompts, which is nice, and we have our little daily chats of, this is your topic for today, talk us through it, or your priorities, and it's quite nice. You've got things to focus on and things to think on and reflect on at the same time, but you're not over pressured to the point of someone behind you shouting at 24/7. It is nice that you can just get on with it and do it in your own time, and then get that feedback and go, right, cool, let's go on for the next thing. Or it's not working out, what can we do to switch this out?
100%. And what would you say to the person, because I want to sort of use your experience, like Matthew's been in the program for a good amount of time now, had great results, but you've also seen people come in, people have amazing transformations. You've probably seen people come in and struggle too, right? Like, not everyone will always get the result, okay? And that's for loads of different reasons. But from your experience being part of this program, and obviously seeing people inside it, seeing people like friends or people that you just know outside of the program, like, what do you think is the number one reason for why people don't make the progress that they want?
Yeah, I think for those types of people, it is that mentality of keeping it going, that momentum. I think some people just think, they can come into this, and like I said, I didn't know about the food side of things until I started learning through the program itself. So again, you can easily come into this, go and do a gym session, and then go and eat some fast food all day long, and it's like, and snack on stuff and chocolate, it's not going to do you any good.
Out, right?
Yeah, it's the mentality of keeping that mentality of, I've got a focus, drive through that focus, what can I do with that focus? And working towards that goal, as opposed to thinking, well, I'll lose some weight, I'll do something, and I don't need to worry about this side of it. It's knowing the fundamentals for that to make it work.
Yeah, 100%. It all comes together, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I like it, mate. So obviously the viewers now, they know where you're at. They know the progress that you've had. They know what part of the program have helped you the most on this journey. Sort of probably the final question now to you would be, what would you say to someone who's on the fence? Because in my head, there's loads of reasons for why people could be on the fence to join in. But in my experience, I think it either can come down to logistics, where people just genuinely do not have £100-200 a month to put into something like this, or I think there's an element of fear. I think people have the scarcity, and what if it doesn't work? What if it's almost an investment that they're committing to it now, right? Yeah. But what do you think holds people back, and what would you say to someone on the fence to getting help?
Definitely. I think, again, it is those finances or the fear and the worry of, will it work, will it not? It is a big investment of not just the gym, and the PT you're paying for. There is a lot of fundamentals around it, and it is pricey. It is pricey, but I think the better way of looking at it is if you've initiated to look for that support, so you've kind of gone to yourself, I need to lose weight, or I need to learn what to do in a gym. You've told yourself already you want to do that.
Yeah.
Why are you holding back from that? Maybe you need a moment to think it through and process it. So you're not always going to have to make that decision right there and then, but you've told yourself already, I want that. I need to look for that.
Change, yeah.
And that change and that commitment. So just commit to it,
Yeah.
You need to think on that a bit better if you've already had it, even if it's at the back of your head, bring it forward.
Especially if you struggle for a while. I said this on a story yesterday. I said, look, it's normal when you're doing something you haven't done before to have an element of scarcity.
Oh, yeah.
I've had loads of times where I've been making a decision around whatever, and I've gone, do I do it? Do I not? And I'm like, there's a bit of scarcity. It's normal, right? But I think what isn't normal, in my opinion, is if you struggle with something for so long, and logistically you're in a position to make a financial investment to solve this problem, then just because you're scared, that shouldn't be a reason for why you're not doing it, especially if you've got 100 reasons for why you should, right? There's loads of reasons, because things are getting worse, it's impacting your confidence, that's impacting relationships with your partner, or maybe it's impacting your ability to get into a relationship, it might be impacting your career, etc. I think being scared is normal, but allowing that to be a reason for why you don't change is, in my opinion, I don't think that's good enough. I think at some point you have to go, especially if, like I said, logistically you can do it, you've got to make that change, because, you tell me, I could give you let's say I gave you the money back now, but then you have to put on 20 kilo and go back to where you were. It's all relative to the value it provides, and the value you've had in terms of your transformation, how much better you feel. That's the real result, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've all started on this program scared, nervous, worried. You go into a gym environment and you think, people are going to look at me doing these exercises for the first time. I don't know what clue I'm doing. Even watching these videos, I don't have a clue. But you develop, and 9 out of 10 times, people aren't looking at you. They're getting on with their own routine, and they're not bothered. They're happy to be there, and it's great. It's a really good environment. I go to my gym and I say hi to some people now. I know people from there. I know the staff members and the managers there. And they say hi and how you doing. Brilliant. It's good to see it. You start building that nice little community, and you don't realise it until you actually get into there and get more confident, But there's always ways around it, especially like the gym. There's ways around it, and there's always quiet areas, quiet times. I go in the morning, train in the morning, and it's nice and quiet before work, get the session done. And that makes me happy and confident, And it's nice to see those people.
Yeah, I love it. And final thing there, Matthew, is like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are scared to get started. In 15 seconds, what advice would you give to the person that's watching this that wants to make a change? They know they need to, but there's just something holding them back. Maybe it's scarcity, being scared.
Again, think it through. You've told yourself already, I need that change. Ask yourself, why do I need that change? And then work on that change. Don't shoot it down because of X, Y, and Z. Finance is scared. Think it through of, why do I want that change? And then focus on that change,
Yeah.
If it is, I want to
yeah,
lose weight.
class. Yeah.
Why do you want to lose weight? And just keep
Yeah.
building down into it to the point where you go, it's due to this, and then how do I do this?
Like, go deeper
Yeah.
with it. A lot of people are so,
Definitely.
like, we speak about it on calls, like, very surface level. Oh, I'll just leave it. Like, people have got standards that they've got used to.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, that's just me now. Like, I'm used to, it's been 2 years, you've been carrying around an extra 20 kilo, 10 kilo. You're just used to that standard.
Yeah.
People know you, like, that's just, like, what you like now, right?
Yeah.
And I think that people find it difficult to make that initial change to go, right, this is, like, my new standard, this is my new lifestyle, I'm going to stick to it. And for these reasons, like, if you actually, like you say, go on a deeper level, being surface level of where I'm at the moment in my life, how being overweight's impacted me. Like I said a minute ago, your confidence is lower. How does that then impact you? And let's think, if nothing changes in the next 6 months or year, where are you going to be? Oh, this is going to get worse. I'm going to gain extra weight. My confidence is going to get lower. That's going to impact my mental health, etc. And I say, right, well, if things change and you lose the 20 kilo and you get fitter, you get strong, you have a healthier lifestyle, how does life get better? Like, yeah, how does your life improve? And then you say you lose 20 kilo. Like, you're going to get more confident. That confidence allows you to do better at work, get a promotion, earn more money, maybe find your future partner, whatever it is, right? It's all specific to the individual. But yeah, I think I agree, like, get rid of the surface level, think really deep into this stuff, and it's probably impacting people more than what they realise.
Definitely. It's that self-development, self-look at it. Don't just outrule the big problem of, it's finances and that. It is very much do that self-progression in yourself and look at yourself and kind of go, what is the main issue and the focus and how do I deal with that? It is really good to do that self-reflection and realise what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And a final thing, Matthew, definitely is, what's the future got to hold for you? Obviously, you've lost a good amount of weight. Like, if we're going to have this chat again in person in 6 months' time, what would you want to be able to say you've achieved?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd be very happy if I've hit my initial weight that I want to get down to, around the 80 kgs. And then start that muscle building phase, so start a new phase, essentially,
Like
I'm happy with the weight loss that I've initially started with, and now I'm on to next progression, so I'd be very happy going down that route.
Amazing. Well, mate, thank you very much for joining me, and let's go and get some food.
Sounds good, mate.
Class.
Thank you, guys.